Now I'm going to show you how to actually import a copybook into the Talon data mapper. So first of all, you need to install the mapper. There are instructions on the wiki for that. And then you need to switch to the mapping perspective. So once I click on the mapping perspective, it'll open up the Project Explorer over to the left. And you will have some built-in folders or projects that you can use for read-only access. So you'll want to create a project first. So we'll just select one of these folders, perform a right mouse click, click on new, and then click on project. So once you click on project, give it a name. I'll call mine TDM_demo. And then you can use the default location of your workspace and click on next. If you want to add any project references, in this case I'm not going to, I'm going to click on finish. So once I click on finish, it will create a new project for me with these different folders underneath. Now next step is to go ahead and import the copybook. So I'm going to select structures and then perform a right mouse click and then click on import. So once I click on import, it then asks me or gives me the option to select different types of sources for the import. So here I'm going to just select the COBOL copybook, click on next, and then it will ask me to select a file. Now more likely you're probably just going to click on local file and you want to browse a file in your file system, and this will be a COBOL copybook. And so here I have this one, and this is a very simple one. So I'm going to click on next. Then once I click on next, it'll bring me to this next screen, which allows me to provide the properties. Now this one is very important, their character encoding. Usually you do not want to use platform default because that's going to be for Windows, and Windows would not be able to read in a COBOL file. Most of the time these are going to be IBM 037. And if it's a standard copybook, the start column is going to be 7, end column is going to be 72. And if there are sequence numbers in the copybook, then you'll want to select this. In this case, there are no sequence numbers, so click on next. And then it'll read in the top level records. So if you have multiple record types, then you'll see multiples of these. In this case, we just have one called mail list records, so that's the one I want. And then click on next. And then it'll ask me which records to generate the loop for. So the mail list record, again, is the only layout I have, so I'm going to select that and then click on next, and then it's going to ask me where I want to store this. So here I'm going to store it in this TDM demo under structures, and then I'm finished. So now if I go over to structures, I can see that I have this mail list record, which is what I imported, and I can just select it, and then I'll bring over here into this window where I can actually see the layout. So if I select this, you can see we have the email key, name, address, different things like that. And if we actually look at the copybook, so this is the copybook that I read in, you can see that it matches up. So your mail list record is the top level, and then you have your email key, which is right here, the 05 level. And then if I expand this, you're going to see that I'm going to have the key type, rest for batch, etc. And then over to the right, I'll just give you information about the different columns or fields that you click on. So here you can see key type is a string. I can see here that underneath batch, if I go to batch number, I can see that this is a number 5. It's a decimal, and it's a packed decimal, which means it's a comp3 field. And I'll show you more of this when we actually look at the data here in just a second. Also from here, you can select any of these levels, perform a right mouse click, and you can show the structure diagram. So it's just a nice way of just seeing the diagram of the structure. And then you just click on the pluses for each of the sub-elements. And so here for key, which we were looking at earlier, we have the key type, and then here underneath the ML key rest for batch, you see I can expand that and see the children of that. So just very nice here to just see the hierarchical view of it in a diagram. And so once you have the copybook imported, the next step is to select the data that you want to associate with that copybook. So here I'm going to go to the show document option, and I'm going to select a sample document, and I'm going to import the document from a file. And so once I do this, it'll ask me from what directory. In this case, I need to browse, and I'm going to go down into my area here, and I'm going to select the COBOL folder. You have to select the folder, not the actual file at this point, and then allow you to select the file on the right hand side. So here I have this data file. So I'm going to click on finish. It's going to read the data in, and then it's going to highlight the different fields for you. And so if I click on ML key, you can see that it has highlighted the whole key. Now remember, this is this contains multiple columns underneath it, so it's going to highlight all of these different items. Now if I just click on the ML key type, you can see it's only highlighting that, which is a string of 1. So over here to the right, it will show you what the data actually looks like. Now some of the stuff is not readable, again, because it's packed data. The comp3 fields will not be readable, but this one is. So this B is represented over here in hex as a C2. Okay, so again, if we go look at the ML key batch number, and this one is a packed decimal, you see over here to the right hand side that that's not viewable because of the way it's stored. You can't see it here, but if you look over here on the left hand side, you can see the value is 85624, and this F is the signed character. So you can have an F, which means it's not a signed field. You can have a C or a D, and that's either whether it's positive or negative, and so that will show up here if you have a signed field. In this case, none of our fields are assigned, so they will all have an F at the end. So again, if I click on a key sequence number, you can see here that it's, the value is 14 and it is unsigned. And so, when you're looking through the data, this is really nice because now I can just kind of scroll down and I can see the different values for my key type, or different values for the name, address, everything like that. You'll notice that these fields, I can read these again because they are just string fields. And so if I look at the name, you say this is a string, 10 bytes or 10 characters, so I can see, actually read the name there. Okay, so again, just this is how you actually can look at the data and verify that the copybook matches the data. Because sometimes we'll have prospects or customers send us old copybooks that don't match the data, and it doesn't line up, so it's kind of difficult to read.